Welcome back, everybody. This is another Authenticity Life Coaching video blog. My name is Ben Skerritt and I am here with you today to share a video blog about how to create authentic relationships. Now, this is something that I think almost everybody on some level, wants to learn about, because relationships are a part of life, a really important part of life. You could say that the quality of your relationships in a lot of ways determines the quality of your life. And authentic relationships are something that I think, in my experience with working with a lot of people, they're something that I feel like there's a lot of gaps in people's understanding. And there was a lot of gaps in my understanding, and this is why I wanted to do a video blog about it, so I could really bring some clarity to what an authentic relationship is, some way to define it, and some criteria to know when a relationship is more of an authentic one versus a relationship where you feel inauthentic and you feel like you cannot be yourself in that relationship. So I wanted to put together a framework so that you can understand how to, first of all, know what an authentic relationship is. Second of all, understand how your relationship blueprint was formed. Because we all have a relationship blueprint, a blueprint that is formed from a very young age, from our childhood and our early relationships with our parents and primary caregivers. We form a relationship blueprint, and that blueprint becomes the way in which we learn to not only relate to others, but more and more importantly, how we relate to ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is formed from our relationship with our primary caregivers and parents. It forms our self-image, our sense of how we get our needs met, and so many other things. And it creates a foundation for our relationship that we have with others as we get older. Now, I want to talk about this blueprint and go into more detail as we go along. But first, I want to start by defining a relationship that is authentic. Okay, so what is an authentic relationship? Okay, that's a great question. And again, as I said, there's a lot of gaps that I've noticed in people's knowledge about what an authentic relationship is. And I get a lot of people asking about what an authentic relationship is in my work that I do, how to create authentic relationships, how to nurture them, how to rebuild them if their relationship is broken down. And I would have to say without a doubt that authenticity is one of the most important things to build a relationship upon. Because if there is a lack of authenticity, there is a much higher chance of things just not working, of relationship conflict, of trauma, from each person getting in the way and preventing each person from being able to express who they are. And at so many levels, it creates dysfunction. But if there is a capacity for someone to understand which way they need to go in order to be more authentic, then they can heal a lot of their own emotional pain, and they can, in the process, also create more empowering, authentic relationships with people. Not only with, relationship with partners, but relationship with family members, with whoever that relationship is, with bosses. It doesn't matter. They're all relationships, aren't they? So my definition of an authentic relationship is really being able to express who you are on a core level with another person, and that other person being able to share who they are on a core level with you, and being able to have that reciprocity of sharing the core authentic truth of who you are with somebody else. That is my definition of an authentic relationship. Because when we have an authentic relationship, we are able to be transparent. We're able to be honest, vulnerable, open, and completely, comfortable with sharing all of who we are, even the things we don't like. We have that level of transparency and honesty to do that, and that creates trust. It creates rapport. It creates a deeper connection. It creates love. There's so many things that come from that vulnerability that comes with authenticity, and that openness, around who we are and what we're experiencing, our authentic feelings, our authentic values and authentic needs. Okay, so an authentic relationship is also one where we are able to share our authentic values, feelings, emotions, needs with each other, and that creates a deepening sense of love and connection rather than disconnection. And so that is another, I guess, guidepost, if you will, that helps you understand what an authentic relationship is. So then it would be also correct to say that an inauthentic relationship is one where we are unable to express our true selves, our core, true, authentic self with the other person. Okay, so there's this sense of being blocked and feeling like we're too defensive, or we have too much trauma or pain, or too much past conditioning, too much stuff blocking us from expressing who we truly are with the other person. So we are, in a sense, inauthentic. We may be wearing a mask, to hide who we are from the other person. We may be, engaging in creating certain shields to shield ourselves and protect ourselves from being hurt, and that can create a sense of inauthenticity, a disconnect, where we're not really connecting to each other on a deeper, authentic level. There can be so many things that fit in those categories that can cause us to become inauthentic. And sometimes it's because we don't even know, what trauma from our past is running our physiology and preventing us from expressing who we are. There can be so many things. It's not always easy. But if we're honest and we're vulnerable and we're honest about our feelings and what's coming up, and we are willing to share that with somebody, at least we're able to be authentic about where we're at. And again, that's going to create more of an authentic relationship than when we're in denial or when we're actually not acknowledging what is authentic or true for us. Okay, so having a definition of what an authentic relationship is and what it isn't is really important. But we also need to understand where the foundation of authentic relationships come from. So I'm going to turn this over here. Okay, so in my opinion, authentic relationships come from one of the most key important relationships, which is our relationship with ourself. Okay, now this may sound surprising and you may be like, what are you talking about? But this is so important. And the reason why our relationship with ourself is the foundation to authentic relationships with others is because we can't be authentic with other people if we're not authentic within ourselves. Okay, so I'll repeat that again. We cannot be authentic with other people if we are not authentic within ourselves. It's just almost impossible to do that, because we have to lead by example, and our relationship with ourselves is the foundation for that. And that's not only, when I talk about my relationship with myself, what I'm talking about is how do I treat myself? What feelings do I have towards myself? If I'm constantly, judging myself, beating myself up, and at my core level, I believe I'm unworthy, or I have a lot of fear, within myself about being rejected, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not lovable, whatever those core beliefs are, then that's going to prevent me from being authentic. It's going to get in the way of me being able to express all of who I am. And I'm going to be more likely to create a mask or a persona or a shield, to protect myself or to overcompensate for what I perceive as my flaws or my inadequacies. So how I treat myself, how I feel about myself is, in essence, the foundation of my relationship with myself. Okay, and it's also the foundation from which other people will treat you. So how you treat yourself, in a sense, will be reflected back to you in how other people will treat you. So again, if we are not working on our relationship to ourselves and on our own trauma, our own blocks, our own key past experiences that are getting in the way of us being able to fully express who we are and to fully own that and step powerfully into that, then we're not going to be able to have an authentic relationship with somebody, because we're just not in that, we're not in that space of being authentic. Okay, we're not demonstrating and leading by that example in our life. And so the relationship with ourself comes first. And I've had a lot of my clients and people I work with, and even myself included, I've seen them come to the realization after a lot of different relationships and sometimes after a lot of heartache that they realize that they've got to, stay away from relationships and take the time to just go back and work on themselves and just to be with themselves and nurture that relationship with themselves. And then lo and behold, they do that. They take the time, and amazingly, when they go back out, they're coming from a place of being authentic and true, and then of course, the universe reflects back to them the level of truth that they're now bringing to the world, and they attract more authentic relationships. They attract different people, or the same people that show up differently, because they're coming from that space of being authentic within themselves. And so that's, again, why our relationship with ourself is the most important place to start. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and share. Share in the comments below. I'd love to start a discussion. I'd love to hear what you feel, what your thoughts are, and start a discussion about this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.